Welcome to Catholic Mom Talks. Temptations are a very interesting concept or idea. And St. Thomas Aquinas wrote a little bit about temptations. And it's a lot more complex than what I'm talking about tonight because I'm not a theologian. But to give you just kind of a general idea for average folks like us, is that the enemy can attack the imagination and the memories, but he cannot attack the will or the intellect. So now if we look at this a little bit stronger, we could see, okay, he can influence our memories and our imagination. How many times have we had a situation where the enemy will bring up a past sin? Something that we remember that we regret. Maybe we've already been to confession for it. Maybe it's been gone for 20 years. But he brings up the memory. And you start to think, oh, I'm such a horrible person. I'm never going to make it to heaven. Go on and on and on. Or bring up a memory of something that's not good that you've done in the past. And it's trying to get you to pull you back in that direction. Now, there's always a battle between good and evil. And that is very much a part of our faith. And we can see that nowadays. We can see that. But you know what's interesting is the devil's not hiding anymore. He used to be kind of hidden and you couldn't see how he was moving. But now he's parading around blatantly evil, just not even hiding himself anymore. Now this is kind of an interesting idea. I was thinking, well, maybe the fact that he's showing himself in public so violently that people are starting to see, oh, wait a minute, there's something really awful about evil. There's something very very dark. And in a way, he's kind of sinking his own ship. Let's just put it that way. People, honestly, in their core, their being want goodness. So, it's in your heart. You know the truth. There's a scripture that says, the truth is written in the heart. And it's true. Even if you don't have a faith, people know right from wrong. We pretty much know that murder is not okay, There's certain things that are just not okay. But tonight, I wanted to talk a little bit about temptation. So when you're in a situation and you get a thought that comes into your head, and I think this is going on a lot with our young people, with their identity. They get a thought, oh, maybe I'm this way, or maybe I'm that way, or maybe that's part of me, that's who I am. Those are just temptations. It doesn't mean anything. It's not who you are. Who you are was ordained by God at the moment of your conception in your mother's womb. You were called by God. He called you by your name. He knew you before you were born. Your identity, who you are, your whether you were male or female, was at the moment of conception was ordained by God. It was who you were meant to be. Any deviation from that is something that is not of God. It is something that God does not will. So very, very simple. So if you're having all these thoughts, it may be that you're just under attack. Something that is pulling you away from your real, true identity. Because your true identity is where God is at. That's your purpose. That's your calling from God. Something may not want you to be who you are. Something may be trying to stop you from being who you were meant to be. Because who you were meant to be is very important. You have a very important job you're supposed to do. And the enemy's going to do everything in his power to try to stop you. So now we have temptations. Okay, temptations are not sins. If you do not consent to the temptation, you are not sinning. You have a influx of temptations. You look at suicide. So many times the enemy will bombard you with thoughts of suicide sometimes. Some of our young people, they're temptations. Now, in that situation, sometimes it can be depression. Sometimes it can be psychological. There can be 8 million reasons why people are going through what they're going through. But sometimes it is a battle. It's a spiritual battle. It is warfare. And I can guarantee you that if you are going in this situation and you keep having these thoughts, and you ask God, you ask St. Michael to come defend you, you ask God to deliver you from those temptations in Jesus' name. And if they go away, you will know who it is that's been attacking you. Just to be aware. Hindsight. Be aware. Be open to the fact that you may be in a battle. Be open to the fact that maybe your thoughts on certain things are not from God. Now, if you're in the state of mortal sin, you have already chosen for God not to be the center of your soul. You've made a deliberate decision. That means you have to have full consent. You think about it, you know it's serious, and you do it anyway. Those are when you walk away from God. You don't want God in your life anymore. When you do that, the enemy steps in. You now belong to the enemy. If you are being tempted, it is a good sign, because it means the devil does not have you yet. So, these are some food for thought. Please, I hope I haven't offended anyone, but these are just my thoughts. Love to all of you and blessings on this beautiful holiday weekend.